What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Redline Garage Fab. In this episode, we're playing with the jungle gym. We're building a roll cage. Follow along and see how we got to this point. All right, so what I'm going to do is I want to mount the grill, but I want to have it where the bracket's removable. So I'm going to mount here, here, and here. And what it'll do is it'll have these plates I drilled up. So you have a plate down here, there, and there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a rivnut. So think of it as a threaded rivet. Instead of a rivet looking tool, which I've seen some guys use, I got the big guns out. So this one, you can get more leverage on it. So like when you get it, then you can squeeze it a little harder. So I'm gonna get these holes drilled out and then rivet them in and then go from there. So, like it shows, you go in and just squeeze it. And then on to the next one. Now, there are ways to do this without the tool. It's a little tricky, but all you do, and I've done it before in my other car, is you run your bolt through, but you put a nut on it, and then you thread this to it, and basically you turn the bolt holding the nut. And if you look it up on like YouTube or the internet, it's another way to make it work. Now, these are steel, so it's going to be a lot harder, especially in a 3/8, but we'll move on to the next one and just knock them out. And there they are. Grill's mounted all by itself. It came out really, really good. So we get like a bird's eye view, kind of like this. And then all you're going to just see is that intercooler. Now, in the rendering, the turbos sit like right here, acting as the headlights. So what I'd like to do is have some form of cool, like modern DRLs. So we could do like amber or something on both sides. But the headlights are going to be hidden inside the grill. So this way, when you're coming up from the truck, all you're going to see is these big turbos on each side a grill with with an intercooler in it and that badass Coyote behind it. But I mean, it's pretty sturdy. It might just need a tiny little bit of reinforcing, but I'm gonna go back. But this way, all it is on bolts from that spot, this spot, and then straight in there. But super happy with it. So next, we're gonna get the cab dialed in, the firewall made, a roll cage made, and that should do it up for this episode with that. But yeah, super pumped. Next step is to start doing all the cab work. First step of business, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the floor out, or at least majority of the floor out. This way I can get exposure to the frame rails and see maybe where I can add that extension piece of the frame. This way I can get the cage tucked real nice and tight. But we'll get the firewall figured out, and even look at this. The original key still turns. I know it's not the original key, but if I can find an original blank, that'd be cool. But I'll get going on this, and then I'll give you guys an update. So my mic went out. I'm gonna have to do a voiceover on this. I drilled the 2 holes in the back corner of the cab where I wanted the main hoop to lab, but the frame rail is too narrow for that. So what I want to do is I want to have an angled section of steel coming off the frame as it goes along the rocker to those points right there in the corner. With that, I'm going to create just some standouts with some gusseting in so the bars can actually land to that. I'll add some extra gusseting in between, and then this way it ties the strength in more on the frame rail. But this way then I can tuck the roll cage to the almost the inside of the cab line so it stays nice and tight so it doesn't interfere with me or any of the general area. Okay, so I got the main hoop in. I didn't get a lot of filming of it. Not gonna lie, I was a little rusty building a cage, especially the main hoop, because it's got to be symmetrical. I haven't built a cage in like 6 years, but hoop's in. It's high enough where it's gonna be above my head, especially with a helmet on, but yet it's not too high up on the radius where we can blow the holes through for the down bars for the back half of the cage. But it's exactly right where I wanted to tack it in down there. So right now it's tacked in place. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build the bar that's gonna come out and down on both sides, and then I'll have like a crossbar going across there. From there, a cage should have, I'm gonna build a 10-point cage to be certified at 850s. So there should be a bar that's gonna come out here and down to this bar here. And then what I'd like to do is get the backs at least blown through and made, but not welded in. And then same thing from the front. We're gonna do from the bar that comes here, or kind of more forward, it's gonna go all the way to the front to almost where the control arms are at. So it'll kind of help tie the whole chassis in place. So let me get the time lapse set up. Now on the easy parts, I'll get these made, and then we'll Okay, so this is where I ended up. I got the harness bar in. I got the 2 diagonal points in right there and there. I got the front bars in, and even with the crossover tube. And the cool thing is, when the door is closed, all you see is just a glimmer of this tube right here. So, I mean, for the most part, the cage is pretty hidden. It's right where I wanted it. So what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to locate the holes where I'm going to drill the holes for it to go outside of the cab. So like probably right in this vicinity on both sides. I'd like to do is do the crossbar for the dash bar, get that done, and then from there maybe, let me open the door so you can see better, maybe blow a hole right here on the dash so it can connect to here. And then like I mentioned, what I'd like to do is have the bar come out and connect probably like right to there. This way I'll strengthen that. All right, I was able to sneak out into the garage for a little while. So the goal is to get these back holes figured out, planned out, and drilled. And then I'm gonna make the mock-up bars so this way I can remove them, so this way we can pull the cab off. From there, what I wanna do is I wanna roll the truck out. It's a mess in here, and let's start with a clean slate. But there, I'd like to start filling all the unnecessary stuff in. So like these lights up top, get them taken care of, get this hole figured out, filled. I have the original cowl from the first body cab, from the first cab. So the one on this one is rotten, so I'm gonna patch that one in. This way, a lot of the metal work's all set. But I'll get a time lapse set up, I'll get this figured out, and then I'll get back with you guys. Okay, here we go. Safety first. Never can grow back a pair of eyeballs. Oh, money. Yes. That is dead on. That is awesome. So let's see. I had a dummy cheater bar over here that I left. Where did I leave it? All right, well, we need to open this up a smidge. Just a smidge. I don't like this tool, but perfect. Okay, so I don't know how well you guys can see this, but that is touching the main hoop right there, which would be sweet. What I plan to do on this area is, I have this on my other car. It's an aluminum trim ring with like a grommet on it. I use it for sending my wiring harness through, but I feel that this could work as well to keep it watertight without welding the tube directly to the cage. So this way there's a little bit of movement, but this way at least it still keeps it watertight without some unsightly welding or seam sealer or something. But I mean, let me see if I can, like, look at that. That is money. All right, so now I'm gonna get these down bars made. Super happy how these holes came out. I mean, look at that. Within probably an 1/8 inch on both sides. I gave some extra support here on both sides. I might maybe run a bar up for extra triangulation, but I'm not sure yet. The goal is to have the radiator probably just at this level, so this way when I'm sitting in it, it's right at the bottom of the window line. I mean, I'm not saying I have a big window anyways to look out of, but this now gives me an idea of how big my radiator needs to be. I wanted the weight to at least spec out a radiator because I wanted the biggest radiator possible. The goal is to have like this wide, a massive amount up and down, but have it like a 4-core radiator so it can just move and cool a constant amount of coolant. But yeah, I mean, I love it. So I might maybe do, from wherever I drop the bottom of the radiator at, I might add an X brace further down. And then the next step is to go inside the cab. Let me get over there. Next step is to clean this pigsty. That's the next step. But then to do the dash bar, drill the holes like I mentioned on either side of the dash, and then start sending them forward. Get a firewall made. So, I mean, at this rate, I'm hoping to have this cab ready for my buddy probably within a month. But yeah, coming out good so far. This is where I'm going to end the episode. I'm super happy on how I got the cage set up, especially the rear holes where they blow through the back of the cab. Next episode is what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the firewall. I'm going to clean up and fill any holes that are unneeded and not used. We're going to take the cab off. I'm going to send it to get blasted, and then this way it's a clean slate for my painter. I want to wish everybody Merry Christmas, with Christmas only being a couple days away. I hope you like, share, and subscribe, and see you on the next one. The goal... I didn't do a lot of filming on it because I just, honestly, I'd be turned out, especially these real holes. Rear holes. Firewall made, and get the body. Out to the back half of the frame. Just one more step closer to getting it to a rolling truck. It is rolling. Welcome back to Redline Garage Fab. In this episode, we're building a roll cage. Stay tuned and follow along.